Hey man, I like this place. They're throwing money at us.
Where did you come from?
Here.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A lot of traffic coming up?
Yeah, that's why I'm late.
Train's still here?
Are we going to meet the young lady?
Yeah, we can do that.
Great.
Did you bring any drawings?
Which kind of drawings?
Oh,
my drawings?
yeah.
Yeah, I brought a bunch.
That's great, that's great.
So,
anyway.
Tell me what's going on.
Excitement.
Is it really?
Yeah. The general mood is like we're going fast, and there's just exuberance. You got something to take some notes? I want to give you some stuff.
Oh, shit. Hang on, I'll get
Here, I'll give you some here.
Got a pen as well. Thank you.
Would I have your own notebook?
No, this is fine. Give me the paper and we'll. So, yeah, I think things are accelerating. I was photographed, eh?
Yeah, Danny told me. What happened?
A blue car, light blue, late model, boxy looking thing. I think a white top, license number DD something. 3 org guys.
Where did it take place?
On Vermont, going onto the highway.
Huh. You're not afraid of going by a complex or nothing, huh?
I'm not afraid of why.
Hey, sort of,
No, but I'd like you to find out who they are. I want to know the full license number because they got me right while I was turning. Normally I can get it, but I was right turning off Vermont, and they're right beside me. And this guy, there's 3 guys in the car. One guy is kind of like a CISO. He used to be a CISO kind of. Do they have CISOs still?
Yeah.
What do we call it?
The States guys, yeah.
He was sort of an estates guy, but he probably is a CMO guy now. I've seen Sandy, is it Sandy Gomberg? One of the Gombergs who used to handle dishes in there. Right? You know Randy?
No, I don't know him, no.
Anyway, he was a CMO flunky when I was inside. So he spotted me on the street, and then I saw he passed me on to this guy, and I think he's a CMO guy. He's about 6'1", 6'2", reddish hair, lightish hair, a little lighter, a little redder than yours, I recall. I know him to see him. And so they then, a couple of miles, I don't know, how far is the turnoff there? A couple of miles? Mile from the organization? These assholes pull up alongside me. And when they got, there's a blonde guy, real blonde hair.
Right.
Driving. A guy beside him, I think, had dark hair, and he had a tiny little camera, he's just clicking away. And so, I gave him something, something to...
Right, I understand,
I want to use it, I was thinking the Flynn, those shots they have of Flynn and Hoffman, they're so ominous. Anyway, but I want to get the sucker's names, and I need to get the whole license number. CID will run a make on the car. I want to get their names. It should be around the org. Somebody can just ask, you hear, somebody spotted Armstrong, or whatever they do. Get me names.
So what does it look like?
The car?
Yeah.
The late model, box-like car, light blue bottom, white top, license plate DD, and then I think there was perhaps a third D or another letter.
I'm sorry, light blue bottom and what?
And a white top. My recollection,
and license what? DD
blank something, you know, three numbers, whatever.
Okay.
It should be around the organization because it was all org staffers. You know, it looked like it. Anyway, maybe these guys can recruit some PIs at that quick. Maybe they're around. Maybe the place is cordoned off. But in any case, these guys, I'd like to get names and the numbers that they on them. Simply because I happen to be a federal witness. And you don't fuck them with guys like that. They can be, the organization can get your heart. CID wants to make them, and I don't want my life fucked around like that. So anyway, that's why I'd like it. Go ahead.
Okay, you wanted data on some people.
Yeah.
Okay, DM.
Okay.
Drives a red Datsun. It's a dark red Datsun.
Yeah.
Last 5 months he's been at ASI.
Yeah.
Before that, he was at Gilman
Yeah.
for about roughly 8 months, and he was doing picture stuff, sound stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Now this is interesting. About a month back, he was in D.C., and word has it, when he was there, he was speaking to the IRS.
Yeah.
Then after that, he was in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
and he spoke at an event down in CW.
Okay. About a month ago.
D.C. a month ago, and then Philly and Flag after that.
Good. Good.
Okay?
Yep.
Wendell Reynolds and Steve Marlowe.
Yeah.
They went on the RPF almost a year ago, and they're at Gilman.
They are still.
No, don't know that. They were at the RPF in Gilman. It's hard to trace guys on the RPF. Sometimes they're just sort of, you know.
The personnel records.
Haven't seen them. This is all just what people know. You know?
Oh, okay. So they
I'm sure
they
there are
don't have
personal railroad records, but, you know.
no one that we have any control of can look in computer records in the personnel transfers. Are they located? You know, staff members' names? Or, no?
I don't have access to the computer. We don't have access to the
Oh,
computer.
you don't? Okay, that's good. I thought you had someone in there, but that's fine.
Well, I mean, we can get. I mean, not on a regular basis. I mean, we get snippets.
Right.
Okay. Also, I want to tell you on this comes from the committee. And they were real pleased with our exchanges.
Oh, good. Okay.
So I'm just. They wanted me to give this information, and you know,
Good.
and I'll be taking the stuff back and you know going over with them.
Yeah.
Great. So, okay, LAFBI case.
Yeah.
The word has it is that the church really wants to go to town on this thing. Have you heard that the church claims they got some evidence of drug tampering
Right.
by the FBI and stuff like that? Well, then now, I mean, the latest thing is that they're real shocked because a couple of FBI agents go in and they stare at this judge, the same one that they claim they had got drug tampering with. So they think that this is like a further thing, even on top of it, you know. So they just
They stare at the judge?
supposedly, word has it, the FBI guys go in and stare at this judge, try to intimidate him or something. Anyway.
That seems like it would be their test. That sounds like Scientology or shit. You know. All right. Okay.
So you got that?
Yeah.
Great. Now the Homer suit.
Yeah.
They're fucking laughing about this.
They laugh?
Yeah, they're laughing. It's like a joke. Well, first of all, like it's not really on C of S line.
Right.
But word, I mean, like, you know, it sort of slips down. It's ASI's handling it.
Right.
So we don't really know. I mean, you know, but like, you hear guys talking and like, well, basically the suits, what they're saying is it's crazy and wild stuff. And like, the big thing is,
Okay.
this is the, you know, the think, the inside think. And you guys are joking about this thing. That, you know, the big thing is that he was real upset that they're supposedly holding his daughter. Well, they're laughing. They come back and they're laughing. It's like, man, did you ever know Homer to care anything about his daughter, you know? Didn't care about his daughter, just left her there, I mean, they're just, I mean, that's the tone of these, you know, the jokes.
So I've seen this sort of thing before. You know, it was like Tanya Burden, and I suppose Armstrong, and I suppose anyone who's come out of the woodwork. It was always that you know, that's a pretty standard thing. It was like how they would have probably felt in the beginning about Flynn and the Tamimi thing. Kind of like it's a joke, they're going to handle it.
Yeah, well, suppose
all a bunch of assholes. We're going to get Flynn, we're going to get Homer.
Yeah. Well, it's slightly different here because I say that they got, you know, lots of people that know that he didn't take care of his daughter, and so why he wasn't concerned about it then, why is he concerned about her now, and, you know, there's no way they're holding her. I mean, you know, that's information for you. And also they're talking about, they're saying that Homer ripped off a bunch of money, and then when the food actually gets served and going to town on it, man, they're saying, man, we're going to get Homer, you know. That it's not going to look good for him. He's going to be in trouble when the suit gets going. And that, I mean, it's like, what I'm trying to say is, that with the ASI guys, don't think it's any big deal.
Well, they think it's a big deal. But this is the standard.
Maybe you think that's what they're saying? I don't know.
Standard way they approach everything, that they think initially nothing's a big deal. I think that's pretty standard.
Okay, great.
My opinion. Let me just think. When you talk about these people talking like that, who are we talking about?
I mean, ASI guys come over and they just sort of, you know, I don't know. I didn't hear. This comes from the committee.
I see. It would be good to have some names. Sort of like, I understand they have some...
So let me write that down. You want the names, so you can get like who's talking about the suit?
Right. When we're talking about these people, who are we talking about? Who are those people?
So who's talking about the Homer suit in ASI?
Well, who is ASI? Who are these people? Give me an org board. Tell me who the opposition is. Who knows what? Where does Mark Yeager fit in all this? What is the actual line of control? Who is in charge? Because someone is. You know, the people who were talking about this suit, were they in a position to be dealing with the suit, or were they being told something by someone else who's just hyping them? Who knows? Or maybe it is a weak suit. I think that, you know, everything that has happened so far of a long-range effect has hurt the organization. Oh, they win with the Band-Aid philosophy, but in the long run, I think they're going to take a bath. Anyway, we'll push on.
So see what I can get on that.
Yep.
Okay. Any news from Michael?
No.
Great. I got this. This is good. This is good. Help me.
By the way, I'll never admit that anything comes from Michael, including any complaints which I may have drafted.
What is that?
That's what how I got to approach it.
Okay.
Did they understand all this?
I think so. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I just lost something. I get it. Need a rock, I think.
Huh?
Need a rock to hold on to this.
Yeah.
Got it all.
When will we see the lady?
Oh. Yeah, we'll just finish this up here. I want to go over what you went over with Danny yesterday on these doc ideas. I saw Danny real briefly. He handed me this thing. He really told me he had a little trouble yesterday, and he said we went over some doc ideas.
The doc ideas were simply what we talked about. Let me ask you: have you guys write stuff? Well, you all are writers, you know, to some degree.
Yeah, we're all writers. You're a writer too.
People can draft the stuff. It just seems like the guts of, you know, there's three things, right? There's personnel and comm lines and money. Isn't that about it?
Yeah.
And organizations' comm lines are of various kinds, and I think that you can use the fact, you know, realize what their comm lines are and plug into them. That's all I was trying to convey. As far as anything specific, I've given you the one thing which I think is a fairly smart idea, which is to use an issue as an assessment. It would happen everywhere. They could never tell, you know, if it was done right. It would be in all the baskets, and they could never tell.
So what would happen?
Well, in that particular instance, if you had the organization divided up into, you know, for lack of any other term, cells, and you divided your people up so that they're the only one in the cell who knows that he's a cell. And he contacts various people and asks particular questions. I assume they're all in the intelligence game to some degree, so they're all actors, right? I mean, it's that kind of a thing. And you know, there's the other use to which issues are put. There's absolute frontal attack. You know, I got this issue, and the one on me and the other 5, and I think it's important because what happens outside is that all of a sudden those people kind of rally together. So there is ways that stuff that's written can be used. The specifics of it, in a way, you guys would have to work out.
So an issue is put together on like an assessment survey.
I tell you what. Within the next 24 hours, I'll give you an idea. I'll write something, and we could just toss around. How can it be used?
That'd be great.
You know, and once you, here's the way I potentially see it. Let's say that this woman decided to back this thing, and she figured that, you know, might as well do something with my life. You know, might as well get off the great rich fence and, you know, grovel with the boys for a while. And what if she decided and she said, well, shit, I'm going to finance some of this. Well, we could set up a press, and we could produce issues, and then we could set up a network. And we could have communication lines running outside the organization, and you could create a pool of information just as an immediate thing. We get ourselves, you guys get yourselves an attorney, and you know, and work out the exact legal things to be done. Oh, by the way, I spoke to Al Lipkin last night. After I was photographed, I went down and saw him because we had talked, and I said that it looks like just maybe one or some of these guys are going to want to talk to you, and he was, you know, to some degree elated, but they never say anything. I told him at that time, I said, in my opinion, the organization at the top is potentially very fanatic, and people could get hurt if these people that I'm in touch with are brave enough to stick their neck on the line and say, enough of the bullshit, okay? So I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm not saying that there's going to be bloodshed, but I think that you guys ought to be aware enough that this is going down, or potentially it is, so that you've got some things worked out in advance. And he's smart enough. He already talks about safe houses and relocating and renaming people. But I said, well, I don't know what can be done. He keeps asking me, what can be done? I say, I don't know, but I think as an initial thing, what makes sense to me is that the people who are going to put their name on that document,
the suit,
on that suit, see you in advance, because as soon as that happens, they become federal witnesses, and the organization's not going to fuck with them. Or if it does...
That's what Al said?
Huh?
That's what Al Lipton said?
Well, it's what I said. And he said, that's the best protection that they've got initially. He said, you know, beyond that, let's just keep, you know, in touch on a real close basis. I called him last night after work because I had some more thoughts, and I called him again this morning. You know, I'm on the phone to the guy, real tight. And I don't know, but they're the best the government's got to offer, you know? And if the government of the United States can't take on these little assholes down there, we're really in deep caca.
Got it. Okay, let's finish on the document and get back to Al Lipton. So where were we on that? So we
on the documents.
yeah, like I gave you
You gave me a whole bunch.
and you looked at the type styles and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know how to?
You're not wired, are you?
No.
Okay. What are our conversations, should it come down to it?
What do you mean?
What do we talk about? You're deposed. We walk out there, there's a PI hands you paper saying you're deposed, Jack, and not only that, but you're out of the organization. And what do you say in deposition? Well, Armstrong and I talked about this, and he had a whole bunch of ideas about how to infiltrate the communication lines and said turmoil, disaster. You know? What are we doing here? That's my question before I tell you my ideas on documents.
But what I got is basically loyalists we got to move. So we got the food coming up, and I guess we need other lines to get stuff going.
Yeah, you do, and I think that people should talk to Lipkin, and I think we should make it as soon as possible to do it. I also think I've got a request into a couple of attorneys now who unfortunately can't represent you guys, but I said, well, what if I can get $20,000 up front? And they said they should have no idea coming up with a lawyer. They're trying to find out at this time what lawyer makes sense. Now maybe you guys have got one. Seems like you haven't. As an important aside, Dave Jordan called up Mike Flynn today. Remember Dave Jordan called Danny a while back? Dave Jordan spoke to Mike, mentioned the name Dan Sherman, and said that, at least Mike got, that Jordan thought Dan was a double agent. Now, maybe Jordan doesn't know enough about what's going on to know maybe he's a triple agent. You know what I mean? Who knows what? But in any case, it seems like if Jordan is talking about Dan, perhaps something's going on. You know what I mean? You guys just should know that is going on. Now maybe Jordan's in your pocket. I don't know. I have no idea, but I wanted to pass that on.
Jordan's not a loyalist.
He's not?
No, I don't know everybody, but.
Okay. So, as far as the doc, let me just say, you and I get together. This is why we get together. We get together because I have a goal of global settlement. You have felt that the turmoil and abuses and so on have gone on too long. Hence, we get together and discuss things. We have not discussed anything about a destruction of the tech, or that Scientology is bad, or anything like that. Are we agreed?
Yeah.
The radio is in a state card. So, it seems to me that the use of the communication lines, I don't know, maybe you guys are using them, but it seems to me you don't have the way of printing anything to get an issue on the line to use for anything, right? I'm saying that I can do it. I'm saying I can type those goddamn things and duplicate them and make them look exactly the same. You would not be able to tell the difference. Maybe under a microscope you can tell the type faces, this one's got a little crack in the T, and this one doesn't, and so on. You'll be able to tell that. And they will know. But that happens to be that only happens to be one little piece of it. You can put out another issue the next day and for a totally different purpose. You guys are going to need to put out issues when this thing happens. You've got to inform the crew. You should be preparing right now, in my opinion, goddamn affidavits that we can put into a computer and have run off and ready to go. I can write. I write legal shit. That's why I want to know your best legal mind. I'd like to talk to him. Maybe you're it. I don't.
I'm not it, no.
Okay, but I'd like to, so that we're really in sync on this thing. Same as the the overall best mind. I have no compulsion to I'll talk to him through it around the corner. I don't have to see anybody, but I really want to know that we are in sync, and that we're using all the resources that we can. I don't know what you've got. I'm telling you basically what I've got. One thing I have got is mobility.
Well, we can put CSWs together. We can handle distribution.
Oh, that's exactly it. So the CSW is the greatest weapon you guys got. The CSW about the situation with the PIs. Given that someone is in a position that they would be doing such a thing. I think that how about if I've got a letter that says that Eugene Ingram works for L. Ron Hubbard, Okay, then you say, well, let's say you guys had the information from somewhere that Brackett Denniston of the U.S. Attorney's Office felt that this whole thing was a setup. Then you say, well, we can't have that problem. Here's this letter out there saying that he works for Hubbard. We can't endanger the source. We have to act. So therefore, here's my proposal. And just the fact of having that goddamn proposal of some guy standing up and saying, I've got to defend source, you've got such incriminating information in the CSW. You follow? So if they respond at all, they're acknowledging that this is that it's true.
So we put a letter together saying,
I'm saying a CSW, and you keep your copy of the CSW. They're going to come around hunting where the fuck is it? Oh shit, got rid of it all. Except you've made it off the property and you've got it somewhere. Type it off the property and bring it in. Remember, there's no problem bringing stuff in, right? You could bring stuff in, and maybe you can't sit at your desk and type it. I don't know, because I don't know the demographics and the geographics and anything else in the place. It seems to me that it's a much more high security deal than it was. Am I right?
Yeah, a little bit difficult just getting things. Sitting down and you're typing it.
Exactly.
Someone walks in. What's happening here? What are you going to say?
But just maybe that sort of stuff can be done. Issues could be created. Stuff can go in. And I'm not really saying create incriminating evidence of which there are no facts. But just to write about the speculation. I mean, did you know that Ingram was retained by Lentz, Heller, Magnuson on behalf of Hubbard?
I know that the attorneys hire and pay and run the PIs.
Right.
I mean, that's what...
Isn't that off policy?
Well, you gave me this thing here, yeah.
Yeah, that's a goddamn policy quote.
See, that's the thing where, the PIs are run by the attorneys, paid for, so the attorneys are running them. You know what I mean? So it's like, how can you put out a little issue saying, fire the PIs, because it's the attorneys are doing it. The attorneys aren't paying attention to the issue, you know what I mean? That's
I know, but you've got to simply say, oh, fuck, this is off policy. Now, we've got to get on source, and source said that's the problem. What are they going to do? Oh, no, you're off source for saying that you're on source. I don't know. I mean, it could be to that degree that they have such utter disregard for policy now that anyone who says this is off policy is just laughed at. Maybe that's the way it is. They have policy? Fuck. We're policy, asshole. Maybe they're that arrogant that they don't even give a fiddler's fuck about source and all his tech. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is inside. You see, you guys obviously have your hand on that pulse a lot closer than I do. I only see that potentially there is a tremendous use through which that, the communication lines could be put.